guys, my name is Sierra and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about my book and then we're going to do a little bit of a write with me. I can't really do a blog necessarily because I don't go anywhere, so there's nothing interesting that I would do vlog related because I don't go anywhere. I mean, I go from the basement to upstairs, but that's not fun. So we're just gonna do a little bit of a chat about my second book, and then we're gonna do about a 30-minute write with me. Hopefully that's enough time. I mean, not a lot of people have hours on end to be writing. So we're just gonna stick with that. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, so in this book, this is not necessarily the sequel. It's part of I think it's a standalone series. I don't know the correct term. I believe that's the best term to use because, yeah. Literally it's a standalone series. I don't know why I'm thinking so hard about it. It's a standalone series. So the first book follows Leo and Dahlia, my two main characters in that story, but this one I'm working on is about Dahlia's best friend. Her name is Zofria, and her interesting connection to Leo's best friend, Addison. This book is it's a lot easier to dive into their worlds as it was for the first one. So this one, it really follows Zofria. She's struggling to find her footing. So she doesn't come from money, unlike her friends who have been born into this very rich society. She actually came from Nigeria when she was about 4-ish or whatever, and in the span of the years that she's been here in the town called Morrow in my story, which is, I didn't know that there was a Morrow, Atlanta, but there's no correlation whatsoever. I just thought of it. But yeah, with living there, her mom ends up working at one of the prestigious schools, which is where the other characters from the other stories all attended, but she wasn't part of their crowd. She was very much like the reserved, nose in the books, just keeping with, just staying in, she felt like she was staying in her place necessarily, of where her value was as a Black girl in a very rich society and environment. So she was very much just like, I'm just gonna get by. School was free for her because her mom works there. So her and her 4 siblings, so there's 5 of them, they all went to the prestigious school full ride, pretty much. And now that she's graduated college, she's struggling with trying to get her footing in life, really. She's 26, does a little bit of like odds and ends job. She works at a coffee shop in the mornings. But that's like her most like frequent position. But then whenever there is like a big event going on, she is a cater waiter, so she does that type of thing. And now she's like, I need to find something real. I need to find like a real job. She's like, I can't be doing this forever. So she's very interested in becoming a stylist, but you know, she felt like she wasn't confident with being able to do that in a world that, in this society where everybody else has their own stylist and everyone has like so much experience, and she's like, I have like no experience. All I do is like sew my own clothes or whatever and do like alterations, which is completely different from everybody else. But she gets the opportunity to show what she's got, to work for a stylist at the same company, not the same company, but at the same label as the main character, Addison. So Addison is the CEO to a record label company, along with his brother, called AA Records. And yeah, they've had a very interesting past. So like in the first book, the epilogue, which says like 2 years later, a little bit prior to the 2 years later, they had a situation. And then within the rest of the story of the first story, but also along with the 2 years later, they have a very like awkward relationship. Like they can't really like talk about what happened. It's very awkward. But the thing is, they both have like the same personality. So think of, if you've seen Living Single, think of Maxine Shaw and Kyle Barker. Both are very like powerful, but they both have the exact same aspect of their dating when it comes to like having a little black book and dating around, essentially dating around, hooking up around, doing that type of thing. So that's really what Zofria and Addison are. They have like their own little black books, but they have their own different rules for when it comes to interacting with those instances. So Zofria is very like straightforward. She tells them like as they're going out, like this is a one-time thing. I don't do more than that. She's very straightforward and very honest about her stance on what to expect. Along with Addison too. He has his rules and he's able to communicate what he is literally expecting, which is not very common on a lot of men. So that's something that makes Addison stand out a little bit more, because he's honest. He's like, this is literally just a hookup. I don't do anything more than this. In the morning you gotta go. You can have some coffee. Like they have that in common. Like they'll give their person coffee after, you know, whatever went down that night. But then the next day they don't interact with the person at all. They'll scratch out their name in the book. They don't do repeats. They both don't do repeats. They don't like to go back, because then it gives the person the idea that they want something more when they really don't. So they're very conscious about that. But they've had a very interesting situation going on between them. And so now with this opportunity, Zofria is like, yeah, I'm down for it. Like this is gonna be a great opportunity for me to step into what I really am passionate about and what I'm interested in. And Addison, on the other hand, is like, oh, holy shit. This is going to go left, because it's a little bit of he fell first type of story. And he's like, I want her around, but this is going to be really awkward to have her around, because someone's going to find out and they don't really want to address what is going on between them, or what had been going on between them, to anybody. Like no one knows. None of their friends know. Leo doesn't know. Addison's twin brother doesn't know. No one knows what went down with them. So they want to keep it like, just keep it a buck. Like they're like, we're not going to communicate about this. Like we're not going to be awkward around each other at the same time either, but it is awkward, but we can't tell them. So it's very weird what they're trying to do when it comes to like communicating about their situation. So the story's just really going to follow them falling for each other, really, and hopefully they both can get over whatever this is. Whatever's going on between them, like whatever going on with him, whatever going on with her, if they can get over it and like get together, because obviously it's a romance book, so it's gonna have a HEA either at the end of it or in the epilogue. I might not do an epilogue, because I feel like since I did an epilogue for the first one, this one would just like, the ending would literally just, I don't know. Anyway, but maybe I won't do an epilogue, but the ending would just be like concise. But yeah, that's the story that I'm currently working on. I have about like 13,000 words of it. I did do a little bit of edit along the way. I know they say don't do that, but I do it anyway, because I feel like it's a lot better. It helps me, so I don't have as much to comb through when it comes to like final edits. So I did delete about 500 words. That was just because the start of the chapter, started of chapter 6, I wanted to do from Addison's point of view, but then I changed my mind as I was writing more of Zofria's point of view. It was gonna be like a dual POV in the chapter, but it didn't work out, so I just scrapped Addison's part. So it's just hers. But so far it's really good. I love getting into their world, because I think I described it in my first video, in my AuthorTube video, or maybe on my other channel. Writing Zofria is like extremely easy to do. It feels like she's an actual person. Like I'm not like trying to cultivate a person and like create them as from a character. She feels like literally like already human being that's been created on Earth. And she's like sitting next to me. She's like, come on, come hang out with me. I'm gonna pull you into my world and you're gonna learn everything about me. Everything that I'm interested in, I'm going to literally drag you through all of it. And within the 6 chapters, I know her so well. It's kind of scary. And then with writing Addison, it's a little bit more nuanced, because his dynamic when it comes to like with Zofria, it's very much like he is trying to fight what he's actually feeling, but also trying to hide what he's been feeling. It's a very different dynamic. So yeah, because the fact that he fell first and fell extremely hard is trying to balance between that urgency, that lustfulness, but also the sense of longing and wanting and yearning for Zofria, while also trying to not make him like a complete absolute sleazeball in terms of trying to be with other women to combat the fact that he's trying to fight his feelings for her. Like I feel like it's like a very fine line between that of just making sure he's not like a stereotypical dude, but also giving him some not even personality, but some characteristics as to like allowing him to be flawed, but also not having him be pigeonholed as like an F-boy type of thing, because he's not that. That's not him. He has different morals and expectations and different beliefs in terms of what connections and relationships look like. So just trying to really figure out his voice a little bit more and really learning about his background. He feels a little bit more like guarded. I think that's what it is. He's very guarded in the sense of what he is allowing me to know and what things are gonna have to be held off for a little bit based off of just what he does outside of Zofria. Like he's not a super he's not a super emotional person. He's not a very he's just not very open. He's very guarded, and I don't know why, so that's gonna be interesting to find out. But his brother's completely the opposite. His brother's like very open, very caring, but when it comes to like work and what they do, that's when Axel is very strict and harsh and rude about it, while Addison, he tries to toe between the two of like being a boss, but also trying to be vulnerable and trying to not have like any preconceived notions or judging people. So it's a very fine line when it comes to Addison. So that's what I'm really trying to figure out. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna talk about for this book. I don't have a working title or anything like that. I don't have a goal necessarily for this session. I'm just gonna write. So if you would like to stay tuned, we can go ahead and get to writing for about 30 minutes. I will set a timer as well. Yeah, I'm gonna write from this spot. This is not my usual spot where I write in. I'm literally at like my folded up table in front of my bookshelves. I normally write upstairs in the kitchen, but we're gonna do what we gotta do for this video because the lighting upstairs is not that good. Even the lighting down here is not that good because it is dark and dreary and it's raining. Well, it was raining, now it stopped raining. But yeah, it's just not enough. It's not enough light upstairs anyway. I feel like this is the best spot to do it, and I have my heater on, so I can be warm. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and set a timer, and then we'll just go ahead and write for 30 minutes. So let me set, or if I can find a timer. All right, timer set. Let's get to writing. You all, so I hopefully got some good writing done, or maybe you just did some outlining, just anything really related to your story. I would love to know in the comments what you were working on, maybe the idea that you have. Yeah, drop that in the comments below. I was just doing chapter 6. I believe this is chapter 6 or chapter 7 at this point. And this is really just like the turning point at the beginning for when Zofria actually starts this new position, and just the transitioning from her life to the life that she always wants. So it's really that much of a shift, really, and getting more into the meat and bones of the story. So I had been writing a lot of, obviously, the beginning of it, duh. But it's all led up to this moment. So yeah, from here on out, it's just gonna be about her current job, letting her new job, and letting her current jobs know what's going on with that. Maybe not only her interactions with our love interest slash main character Addison, but also some interesting people that pop up from her past life that really have cultivated Zofria into who she is and how she really handles relationships. So that's just where I'm at for the story so far. Hope you enjoyed the video, enjoyed writing with me for a little bit. Yeah, this is my second video. This is just like a little, you know, time we get to talk to each other and stuff. Yeah, I know like my emails are probably popping up too, and you saw me like swiping because they're so annoying. I gotta turn off those notifications because they're highly annoying. Also, I gotta unsubscribe to a lot of those too, because they're just highly irritating at this point. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to like the video, comment what you're working on, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in keeping track of me and what I'm working on, if you like my energy and my stories. Yeah, so until next time, stay magical. Bye.